Okay, so welcome to another how-to video tutorial. Now, I've been asked for this one, could you make a UE4 blueprint tutorial on how to make an inventory that allows you to pick up and store multiple items along with a UI, a user interface, to see what is in the inventory. So picking up different items, putting them into the inventory. Okay, yeah, we can do that. The only thing I would say is that this is not going to be a straightforward tutorial. It's going to be fairly detailed. It's going to be a long one. I feel. I have had some walkthrough already, so I've played around and I sort of know how I'm going to do it, that's been very helpful because this is something quite difficult to do off the top of your head. So I have had some resources and things that I've practiced that I'll bring into this. But I would suggest that everybody really goes and make sure that they're really comfortable with blueprints. So on Electric Monk, make sure you look through the Intro to Blueprints course, have a look at all the videos there, and then start thinking about blueprints essentials. You know, this is fundamentals of programming and visual scripting using UE4's blueprint system. So looking at struct variables, variable types, objects, classes, getters versus setters, and all this type of stuff. So there's lots there that you really do need to have a good handle on if you're going to be thinking about the sort of the interactive side of creating stuff within Unreal. Okay, so really, this is the foundation learning for this tutorial, and you really need to be going through this and making sure that you understand all of these before attempting to do something like this. So I'm going to go through this as quick as I can, but as I say, it's not going to be an easy process. It's going to be quite complicated. Well, as far as blueprints goes, and in the big grand scheme of things, it's actually not very complicated, but there's a fair amount of prerequisite understanding that you need to have. Okay, so inventory system, pick up and store multiple items along with a UI so we can see what's in the inventory. Okay, now there are many ways to do this. This is sort of like a proof of concept. So this is just showing you how you could get this up and running so that you could start testing and designing. So it's only literal, a first version, a draft, a proof of concept. It's by far from being production ready. It literally is the first part. Right, so we'll give it a go. Okay, so we've got Unreal 4.26. Inventory example. I'm going to create, to begin with, let's create a new level. We'll keep it completely blank at the moment, and I'm going to save it. Save current as, and I'll call it inventory. So we'll put it right at the start of the of our game folder, our content folder here. So we've got inventory there. That's it. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to set the project settings up here, and I'm going to go maps and modes. The default maps for the editor, so when I open the editor, we're going to open up the inventory level straight away. And the game, the default, we're going to play that one straight away. So that's quite important, making sure that in our project settings, that's there. Now, there's a few other things we probably want to do. I'm not going to do it now, but input down here on the left, we're going to start to do some action mappings because I want this on keys, and then I want a key to open up the inventory, which will probably map one of the keys to just open it and close it, the inventory viewer. And then I'm going to use the mouse buttons to collect or inspect things within the viewport. So when we come across something. Okay, but I'm going to do that later when we get to that point. There was something else in here. Yeah, okay, so here, maps and modes. We've got a game mode here. Now, this is very important. It's part of the gameplay framework within UE4, but it's effectively like a blueprint that we can... let's give a description. No, okay. Okay, so it doesn't actually give you a description here, but if you go to the documentation, it will give you a full explanation of what the this game mode actually is, and it's very important. It's a blueprint that stays persistent across all of the levels and all of the things that's going on in your game at any one time. So it's primarily a place where you can store data, live data, things that are happening within the game. inventory might be a good thing to store in there. You probably want to be doing this in a separate blueprint and sort of removing this from the game mode and only having data stored in the game mode. But this is something that's beyond the scope of what we're doing now. So I'm literally just going to use this because it's easy and it means that I can target it, I can call it, I can call functions in it. Very easily and quickly. So it will stay persistent and everything I create will be able to reference it quite easily. So that's the reason why I'm doing it this way. As I say, it's maybe not the best way to do it, but we're going to do it anyway for this project. We're going to call it inventory game mode. Inventory game mode, there you go. And that should have created blueprints inventory game mode. So we've got this, which is a blueprint that's going to be easy for us to store everything and access, and it's our central hub where we can put stuff. So we'll just save that. I'm going to start to try to dock some of these windows because when I'm going to be swapping around and we're going to have quite a few little files going on here. And blueprints. This is where we're going to sort of start to store everything. You could call it inventory or whatever, but again, the proper organization of all of this is beyond the scope of what I want to do for this project. We're just going to go through how we would go about constructing it. Okay, so we've got that. Let's get some stuff into the scene. Let's bring in a plane. Just so that we can test what's going on. I'm gonna lock that and we'll scale it right up 20. We might want to put it to 100. Massive. No reason why we don't have it big. I'm going to center it to the middle of the world. Okay, so that's cool. Let's add a third-person character so we can see what we've got going on. Feature or content pack, third person, add to project. Done, good. So third person, blueprints, bring in our third person character. Let's possess him. Auto P, so he is now our player. We've got no lights in there, obviously. Let's have a look at let's add in a folder. Create a folder. Lighting. Let's add in a sky atmosphere. We can put that to the center. Let's add in a directional light. Okay, we will put that movable. Put those into our lighting folder. And with our directional light, we'll make sure we link it into the atmosphere, and there we go. Okay, so we've got a scene. We might as well just add in a skylight to get some ambient light going on. Put that there. Okay, I'll just put that to 0, 0, make it movable. Movable. And just so that we don't make a mistake, I'm going to go force no pre-computed lighting, put that to OK, so we don't have to build anything. Okay, so we're in the game, that's it, we can run around, as we know, and we've got some light, we can see what's going on. Okay, so that works, that's good. Right. Okay, him, we're going to, where should we put him? Snap him to 0, 0, 0, and then I'm just going to bring him back. Directional light, put that to 0, 0, 0. Below the world, third person character, just going to move him up. Press end. Snap into the floor, and there we go. Right. Okay, so now we want to start thinking. Well, okay, so that's what we've got. We want to start thinking about some objects that we can pick up, and that's probably the next thing to start with. So in blueprints here, because this is where we're going to, not that one, blueprints. This is where we're going to store all of our inventory stuff. Let's create a folder. We call it pickups. So these are things that you can pick up. And in there, let's create a new blueprint. Blueprint class, call it an actor. We'll call it BP underscore pickup item. Pickup item, save all. Right, so these are the things that we can pick up. Now, if we open that, let's have a look at what we've got. We've got a viewport, we've got a default scene route, and we've got obviously places to stick in our item code or item specific code. Okay, so the first thing I think we're going to put in here is we're going to put in a trigger box. Okay, so that what we want to do is we want to know when we're close to an item or within range of an item, we want to enable a pickup like zone, as it were. So I'm going to drop that down. I think it's just box. Yeah, we can box collision. There we go. So we'll click on box collision. We'll see the sort of size. Let's have a look. Well, I think if we put that to movable, put it to 4. Okay, and just for now, I think we're going to put in another. Let's put static mesh in there, so we can delete this later. Put it on the scene route. Yeah, and for the static mesh, I'll choose a plane if it's there. Plane, static mesh, engine, basic shapes. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we've got that on the floor. Slow the camera down. So we've got that there. Yeah, and that can be our like pickup area. Now if we just match it roughly, so if we scale it to 2. Yeah. We want it to sort of just roughly go around the zone. So 3, we in. If I look at the top view, it'd be easier. So boxes there, that's there. So if I put 2.5. Yeah, okay. So roughly, it's as near as it needs to be. 2.6. 2.5. Okay, so there you go. So our box and our static mesh. So we've got a trigger volume. Save that, compile, and we've got a sort of a visual marker as to where that collision is. So if we go back to our main level, we take our pickup item. We just save all of that. Put it over here. All right, so that's what we've got. Yeah. Now we've got some clipping going on because obviously they're on exactly the same plane. They're fighting to be viewed. What we could do is in our pickup item, just going to look at the left view with our static mesh. Let's put that on 1. Just raise it up very, very slightly. Compile and save. There we go. All right, so that's that. Pickup item. So that's our volume 4. Yeah, to be honest, we probably want to actually make it just so that ease of testing. Let's make it all a bit bigger. Right, so that's our volume. We'll put that to 10. Yeah, and then our static mesh. If I go into top, 5, 7, 6, 6.4. To box. What's going on there? Oh no, that's all right. Let's just do that. Okay, so we can make that our pickup zone. So if we put something in there, we can, we can find out, what's going to go in. If we put something in there, we can start to pick it up when we're in that sort of proximity. So that's our pickup zone. And but this is a pickup item. We want this to be on every single object. Yeah, so we've got box, static mesh, but then we also want a way that we can use functionality within this. Now, I'm sort of future-proofing this for the moment, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another little blueprint. So if we go file save, and this going to be a scene component. So blueprint class, scene component. So this is a component can use in a scene and we can transform it and attach to other scene components. So if we need to scale things or move things around, we can adjust or target the scene component because this is going to be nested. So we'll do that. I'll call it BP underscore SC underscore item. And so we've got that there. And then here in our pickup item, we're going to nest it in. So I'm going to add a component into here, BP underscore. There you go, BP underscore SC pickup. So I don't think we'll have it. We'll have it there, but we'll attach it to the root. Won't make it the root. And then if we've got individual items, we can dump them all into here. Okay, so we'll save that. That's fine for now. Inventory game mode, our pickup item. Yeah. And now we need to start thinking about other things, child blueprints that we can put in here. So let's just start with another blueprint class. In fact, let's create a child blueprint class of the pickup item. We'll do this and we'll call this one BP underscore cube. So if we open that up, now I've got all of this, which is inherited from the parent, the scene root, the box, the static mesh, and the pickup item that we had previously. But we need to put a mesh in there. Let's put our own little objects in there. And I'm going to put this as part of inside this generic pickup item that we can target. It's got transform features and all the rest of it in case we want to do something different to here. So we can just add a static mesh in there. Static mesh. Yeah. And then we'll make it a cube. So we'll find that engine one. Engine message. Should be basic shape somewhere. Engine basic shapes. There we go. We'll bring that up. So we'll put that there. So 50. I think it's a meter high. So there you go. I'm going to start to because all this grey is going to get really confusing. I'm not going to be able to see what's going on. Let's just save everything. Let's start thinking about adding some materials to these things. So here, blueprints, content. Might as well do it here. I'm going to create material, just basic material. I'm going to call it M underscore flat color. Click, open. I'm going to hold down the 3 and click. This will give me a color. We'll turn it to. I'll just keep it white. 1, 1, 1. Okay, put that in there. Convert that to a parameter so I can change it. Base color. So we can make instances. So M underscore flat color. That's base color. Save. Yeah, close. Here, let's create an instance. And I'll call this M underscore red. And let's create another one. Create material instance. We can call that M underscore blue. And that's a red. Base color, open up. We'll just make that red. Here we go. Save. Done. I'm going to close, might as well close these for now, and then open them when we need them. Blue here, we'll enable that, open that, turn those to 0, 0, save, done. So red and blue, right? So if we go in now, and we'll be able to see how our blueprints are working. If we go into our pickup items, we've got our first one, BP, with our trigger box in it. So we open that up, look in the viewport. We've got this static mesh here. Let's make that, for now, we'll make that m_red. And then we'll save that, compile, save. And then save, so that's red. And then our cube, we open that, look in the viewport. So we've got a red, it's been inherited from the parent. Now we've got the mesh. We'll take that cube, we'll put the grid, we'll go m_blue. There we go. So things will stand out and we can see what we're doing. Okay, so this is our world. Yeah, if we go like that. Obviously, I can't see the cube because this is the parent, the pickup item. Yeah, BP pickup item. We don't want that one there. I'm going to delete that from the scene, and then take the BP cube and put that on there. Okay, so obviously what we can do is just duplicate here. Right, I'm gonna. Okay, because we've still got a lot of functionality to build in here, I'm just going to show you this very briefly how it will work, but. We can. I'm going to delete it because we're not at a point where we need to be able to duplicate stuff yet properly. So I'm going to duplicate that BP cube and call this BP sphere. Open it up. Take the mesh. Change from cube to a sphere. So we get the basic shapes. Engine basic shapes, save. There we go. So now we've got this sphere one. Yeah, if we put that there. Yeah, now we've got, if we look at what's going on in the sphere, all of this is inherited. So all of this, yeah, all of this is here, our main pickup item. And then we've got children of the pickup item, which are sphere and cube. Yeah, so they're inheriting all of the properties. Anything that we do in the trigger box and control we put on the trigger box will happen to all of them. And the actual object, yeah, is going to be individual because we can just change that in here. But obviously we can't do that too early because we need to delete that. We need to we'll work on one and then we'll worry about that later. But that's why we're setting it up in this way, so that we can quickly create children objects that are different, have different properties, but still inherit all of the main functionality that we'll set in here. Okay, so sphere, we don't need that one. We can delete that. Okay, because we'll have to duplicate that later. All right, so we've got this, yeah, and right, let's start thinking about collisions and stuff, I suppose. So if we play, we can go through. Now, what I want to do is I want to, when I get close to it, I just want to left click to pick it up, or I want to right click to inspect it, where I would swap over to a different viewer. Right click would then zoom in on it and I would inspect it. Left click would add it straight to the inventory, and then a key press, off and on to open up the inventory and see what's there. Now, I probably want a prompt to know that something is pick upable, and I want the inventory to pop up when I add something, but I don't necessarily want it up all the time. So I want to close it and open it, depending upon whether I'm in a pickup zone or whether I'm, or I want it to behave differently when I've actually got it open by opening a key. This is why it's good to test these things and really sort of play with them as you build them, and not really have a, to just feel how intuitive they are, whilst using them and testing them. Right, so let's just put that there, bring it forward a bit. Okay, so running in and out of the pickup zone. So probably that's the first thing to sort of think about. because ultimately we're just going to build in the functionality in a sort of a linear way. I'm going to start, say, right, sequentially going through it point by point, building stuff, making it work, and adding in functionality as I go. There's no great sort of like all working on this blueprint and working on that blueprint. I'll just build it and test it and build it out as we move along. Okay, so with that said, I suppose the first thing to start to think about is on the pickup item, we probably need to think about enabling some actions and popping up some notes to know that we've overlapped the box. So in pickup item, this is the root, so this is not the individual one. This will happen to all of the little items. We've got some things here. So begin play, begin overlap, etc., etc. Stuff like that. Let's look for the we'll delete those. Let's look for the right one. Let's take the box. What have we got? Functionality. Okay, so we've got loads of functionality here. We're on component begin overlap, on component end overlap. So I'm just going to add that in. And end overlap. We'll add that one in as well. So we've added those two in. Just to show that works, and you want to get into the habit of doing this all of the time. Print string hello, print string, so we're putting those two on there. This is literally just testing that we're working. So I'll put it on, I'll say in box, I'll put it, enter and leave, so it's just a bit more descriptive. Save and then play. This will pop up because we were looking at the graph. It'll pop up a little window. Enter. So you see it popping up here on the screen. Leave. Enter. Leave. Okay, so we know that those actions are working, so that's good. Right, what do we want to do instead of enter and leave? What we'll do, we'll just bring those right here. There's no point in how we can have the messages on the screen just so that we know that things are working. Let's start to think about first of all getting some functionality into the game mode. So our main function that everything can, our main sort of repository, data repository that we can store everything and that everything can sort of reference. So we'll start working in the game mode as much as we can. So I'm going to look for get game mode, which is referencing this repository here, where this blueprint where everything is going to be put in there. So get game mode, and then I'm going to what's known as cast to the inventory game mode, which will allow me to sort of act as if I'm in that game mode, which is quite good. Or if I'm within that blueprint. See what I mean in a second. That one, we'll put the object there as well, and we'll connect those up. So we're casting to the game mode, and then we want to set some variables. First thing we want to know is when we're in that zone is whether or not there's an item in there that's collectible. So we're going to set a variable to say, we can pick up something. Things are available to be picked up when we go into this zone. So we're going to set a flag. It says we're in a collectible zone. So we're going to actually do that in here. And this is how it's going to work. So this is the blueprint, but we want the full blueprint editor. And then we're going to start to think about setting a variable in here. And it'll be a Boolean. And I'll just call it, we'll try and keep it as simple as possible, as descriptive as possible. Current item collectible. Current item collectible. So that's there. We'll compile it. Save. So the default of it is off. This Boolean is off. Current item collectible. So we've got nothing there. So if we go back to here, let's set that variable. So this is in our pickup item. We're going to go back out to the persistent blueprint, as it were, and we want to print string. What are we doing? Let's set that. So as game mode, we're going to set current item collectible. Now we've just defined it, so it pops up, and it's as if we're there because we're casting to it, and we want to set that to yes. So yeah, we're in a collectible zone. Yeah, we want to do the opposite basically here. Try and move this over, keep that. We'll connect that to there, put that there. It's a good habit to just keep these as organised as possible. Target, set that. We'll unset it. Are we in a collection zone? No, we're not. Okay, so that's cool. Right, what's next? Next thing I think we want to do is we want to get like an item name because we could be in. We could be in lots of things. We could be in. All these different objects, cube, sphere, could be a book, could be a magic wand, could be loads of different things. So we need to think about names now. Now that we're probably going to need to look at the cube. Let's have a look at that because they're all going to be different. They're all going to have different names. So if we go in here, let's have a look at the cube. Now this is a parent, but we do need to give it a name. So let's have a look in the cube, which is this is the main level. I'll organise this. This is going to get complicated, unfortunately. We're going to be working across multiple different blueprints at once. But if I order them here and try and keep them open, you should be able to see what's going on. So inventory, that's our main level. Then I want the game mode, which is the blueprint. You could use the level blueprint, but if you're swapping levels, it would be a problem. So I'm using the game mode. Then we go to pickup item, which is the main parent of the pickup item. It's got the trigger box and the functionality in it. And then we go to the object itself. So the object itself, we want to set a variable, and we probably want to call it item name, so that we've got something here. But it happens in the parent. So pickup item, we just want the variables in here. I'm going to open that up and I'm going to call it item name. Yeah, and then when we put it into the inventory, we probably want to have an image for it as well, sort of an image associated with it. So I'm going to add another one, and we're going to call it item. Ooh, just be careful of your spelling and stuff here because it could cause you problems. So we've got two variables there, so containers that we can put data. Item name, I don't want it to be a Boolean, a yes or no. I want that to be text. So the type there is important. And then here, for the image, I want that to be a texture 2D. Texture 2D. So we've got texture 2D and a text field. So these are different types of data that we can put into these variables. So if we save that now, at the moment they're just default empty, so nothing there, which is fine on the master. But then in the child, the cube, we can set that variable. So let's try and do that. Let's if we compile and save, let's get the item name. Let's see if we can do that from here. Okay, so we need to be able to bring that variable into. Oh no, we don't. What am I talking about? Parent. Let's see if we can. Let's try to set directly from here. Set item name. There you go. Just call it directly. That's easy. Right. Set item name. We'll call this cube. So this is the construction script. So as soon as this blueprint appears in the level, bang! It's setting up these variables. Next, we want to set item image. And then for here, I'm not going to create an image for this particular one. I'm just going to use 127 grey, just a grey square. Okay, so compile and save. Yeah, that's what's going to happen when it's built. We set the name. We set the pickup item. Yeah, we set it collectible. If we go over, what we could do is print string. Let's take the item name, put that there, get item name, put that in there. So what we should expect to happen, compile, save, we play that, it will pop up when we go over, enter the zone, display the name, Q. Okay, that's cool. Just so that we can, so you can see, if we were to duplicate that, open that up, go to the viewport, we'll select that static mesh, turn that to a sphere in basic shapes. Okay, we'll go to the construction script, call that sphere, compile, save, play, not that one, hang on, stop. Let's come out of that. Play, so that's cube, enter. We put sphere on there too, save. We've got cube, enter, sphere, enter. Okay, so each one has got the same functionality, inheriting the same functionality. We've got different mesh, different image field, and a different name. Okay, so there we're starting to build in that functionality, and that's why we're doing it this way, so that they all inherit properties and functionality, but they can all be their own individual little bit. Okay, so again, I'm going to delete that because we don't need that, and I'm going to delete the cube because it's still got lots of functionality to build here. Okay, so that's good. Right, let's go back to our pickup item. It's a normal event graph. We don't worry about that. Right, let's keep on with this. Okay, so let's okay, now that'll do for now, I think. Okay, so actually, hang on a second. Right, what we do need to do is, just because we've got a current item here, we want to pass the details of what we're over to the inventory game mode. So that's actually quite important, I think, just so that we can make sure that we're putting the right one in the list. So we need to pass the name straight into the game mode. So yeah, that's going to be important. What we'll do is, in our game mode, we'll create a couple more variables. We'll call this current item name. It could be any, I'm not typing there. Item name. And we'll add another one, which will be current item image. Okay, current item name, current item image. We'll make sure that that's text. Yeah, and this one we'll make sure it's a texture 2D. Texture 2D. Like so. Okay, so we've got that there, compile and save. Now we need to pass the details from the pickup item to that blueprint. So we need to set from the target. Actually, let's take another one. We can do that. We can go set current item name. We'll put that there. I'm dragging off of here. Just do it like that so you can see what's going on. So we're setting that, and we're setting that to the item name that we've set in our object. So our item name, yeah, is now being set here. So current item. So that's the one that's current. Okay. Which will correspond to the zone. We're currently in this zone. So we'll do that. We'll do the same with the image. So we can drag another one off there. Let's just do a reroute. Reroute mode, just to keep things neat. And then we're going to set current item image, so we can get an image for the inventory. And that one will use whatever we happen to have in the object. So get the item image, plug it into there, and there we go. Right. Okay, so we've set the name. We've marked it as collectible, and we've set the name and the image when we walk into a particular zone. That's fine. Right, now we need to think about the function. What we're going to do after that. Okay, so I think this is where we need to get back to the game mode, and we need to start thinking about functionality. And I'm going to open up or add custom event, and this will be our first event. We'll put it up here, and we will call it enter pickup zone. What's going on? Didn't want to do that. To pick up zone. So we want to do this. So we can say, just to make sure that we're calling it, print string, and we'll go pick up zone. We probably want another one as well, rather than pick up, just as well as pick up zone. We probably want an opposite. So we'll add custom event. This one is going to be leave pickup zone. We'll put that one there. Just copy paste that. Okay, so we'll do that one. That will be leave. That will be enter. Okay, so enter pickup zone. Yeah, leave pickup zone. Go on, save, compile, inventory, save all the blueprints. Here, pickup item. Now we can, as here, we can call that event. So we want it to be enter pickup zone. There we go. So we're going to start to run enter pickup zone, this function, after we've set the variables. Bring that down to target. Over here, I think we need to do the sort of same. But we're here. When we exit, we're going to, let's do it from here. We're going to leave pickup zone. So we call in those functions. Okay. All right. Let's just test that. Compile, save. Enter pickup zone, leave. Enter pickup zone, leave. Enter pickup zone, leave. Okay, so that's good. Right, so that's working. So we're sort of jumping right from here back to our inventory mode and starting to call these functions, which is great. Also means I don't really need these print strings anymore because we know that they're firing. And we're sort of like pinging up these notifications on the screen just so that we know that our execution chains are okay. Enter, leave, enter, leave. Yeah, and we know that we can call that item name as well. So let's go back to inventory mode. Let's see what we've got to do here. Okay, so this is where it's going to start to get a little bit more complicated, and we start to think about what we need to do. So the next thing we need to do is start to think about our HUD, our UI for this as well. And obviously because that's the next thing we need to sort of start to consider. So we've got this going on. We're printing. We're correctly communicating to the game mode. We've got our items set up, and we've got our child items so they can all be individual. That's good. Right, so the next thing is our HUD, because we want some indication that we can collect things, or we can inspect things, or we can actually have a look at our list. So let's create our user interface widget. I'm going to call this W underscore inventory. Okay, and this can be our user interface widget. So that's another thing that we need to consider. So we've got all of our interface here, and then we've also got our graph up here. Now, because this is an inventory, we'll put this over here. I'll close that because we may not actually need that anymore. We've set our set that. That's probably all we need to do in that. Okay, so we've got our pickup item. Yeah. We're communicating to the game mode, we're playing these functions, we've got our inventory. So in the game mode, I think what we will do is on, begin, when we start, event begin play, we'll create this widget that we've just got here, widget, just so that we know that it's there. I'm just going to put text blocks there. So that's all that is there at the moment. It's sitting in our content browser. It's got enough. It's not actually in the level yet. And then we're just going to create the widget within the game. So create widget. Yeah. Whose interface widget is this going to be? We want it to be the player controller. So the current player, which we'll take and then put that in there, the owning player. And then now we've set it, we'll make it a W inventory widgets. We're creating it within the game. So imagine, we're just like bringing it from the library and making it active, but I'm not actually going to do anything with it yet because we don't know whether or not the player actually needs it yet. So I'm going to take what we've created, the return value. So I'm going to make it from the library, construct it, promote it to a variable, and then I'm just going to call it inventory. Okay, so this is now sitting live in the game, ready-made, waiting to be displayed or not. Yeah, but it's sitting there, and I can call it inventory. Yeah. Now, so we'll leave that there. We'll do that. I'll just select it all, press C, and then I'm going to start to divide these little bits up with comment blocks so that I know roughly what's happening there. Right, so that's creating the widget. Now here, these are the pickup zone ones. Now, as soon as we enter a pickup zone, if this is what we're going to work on next, we really need to work out whether the inventory is open or closed. Because I want one widget that has things that will display different things depending upon what's different going on. I don't want loads of different widgets. That becomes a little bit unmanageable, or will become unmanageable over time, because we just have hundreds of different widgets all being loaded and unloaded. So everything to do with inventory, whether it be displaying, inspecting, collecting, dumping, whatever, just goes into one widget, and we'll put all that functionality into this one widget, because we might have loads and loads of things. And so we're compartmentalizing everything. But the first thing I need to do is work out whether or not the inventory is open. So first of all, we'll create a variable, inventory open. I'm trying to be careful with my spelling. Inventory open. It's going to be a yes or a no, so I want it to be a Boolean. So yes or no, and compile and save. The default is no. Okay, so we'll take that. Get the inventory open. So at the moment the default is no. And then from that we want to branch depending upon whether it's open or closed. So default is no. We know that it's not open first time we run it. Branch. So as soon as we enter the pickup zone, we check whether we're saying is the inventory open. If it's not open, we'll create an event. Let's bring that down here. and we'll set up an event called Open Inventory. So I'm going to add custom event. Now, it's not only going to happen when we enter the zone; it might happen on a key press as well, which is why why I'm doing it separately in a separate event, so it can be called by something different. And I will call this Open Inventory Event. Open Inventory Event. Okay, so we'll do that. That's fine. We might want to actually think about, we'll just do another one whilst we're here. Close. Oh no. Add custom event. And this will be close. Inventory event. Okay, so open and close. We'll put those there. When we what do we want to do? We want to basically add inventory to the viewport. So bring in inventory, which is the reference that we set here. So inventory, add to viewport. So when we run the open inventory event, add inventory to the viewport. Okay, so we'll do that for now. When we leave or close the inventory, we can remove all widgets. Remove all widgets. Okay, so we're adding inventory to the viewport and removing when we're running that function. When we enter the pickup zone, we're branching. If the inventory is not open, so false, it's not open, then we want to run that open inventory event. So false open inventory event, which adds that to the viewport. Okay, so if we've got the inventory open and we run into a pickup zone, we don't want to open two inventories. So that's what we're trying to stop that happening from here. Right, so let's just have a quick look. Yeah. Okay, so when we go in, bang, text block comes up. We're loading our widget. Okay, so that's where we've got an option here. Widget was already added to the screen. It's coming up with a message. That's fine because I don't think we've done one for leaving. And when we leave the event, we don't want to just add another one. When we leave, we want to run the close inventory event. Close that inventory, and it should run that remove all widgets. So if we play, text block gone, text block. So the widget, our user interface widget, open, closed. Okay, so we know that works. Whilst we're here, we might as well think about, I'll just save everything because Unreal is known to crash every now and again. Adding in some key mappings in the project settings. So down here, project settings, input, action mappings. We want to click on the plus. We'll drop that down, and we can call that open inventory. And then what key do we want? You can use whatever you want here. It's fine, whatever works for you. I'm going to use the end key, just because, why not? Okay. All right, let me just... Okay, open inventory. Okay, so there are a couple of other things we might as well do whilst we're here. I'm going to add a couple more in. 1, 2. This one is going to be inspect item. So if you want to zoom in and have a look at it. And then the other one is going to be select item. Select item. So select item is like, or it could be collect item. We'll put in the left mouse button. Left mouse button. And here, inspect, we'll put in a right mouse button. Okay, so open inventory, end. Yeah, I'm left-handed, so I've always got to keep right hand on the keyboard and use the arrow keys. So end is quite easy for me. Inspect item, select item. Okay, but you obviously put in whatever you want for that. Okay, so open inventory, end. That's what we need to be thinking about. Now for here, are we going to go into the level blueprint? So blueprint, open level blueprint, and then we're going to start to think about, what are we going to do and how we're going to respond to those key inputs. So the first thing we want is the action, which was what open. Inspect, so that's that one. What's the other one? Select item. So there's all these action events, and then there should be. Let's look, the open inventory. Open. So this is literally what we put into the project settings here. Open inventory, inspect item, select item. So they're running here. Okay, so open inventory. Yeah, we can run that, and we need to do a few things here to open and close the inventory. We do need to work out whether or not we manually closed it or whether or not it's been opened by running into a pickup zone. So that's something we can think about. First of all, we need to work out whether or not the inventory is open, because we need to, if it's open, if we're just using one key, we can open it, and then if it's already open, we'll close it. So we need another branch to think about, what we're going to do. Let's move these out of the way. We'll do those later. Get rid of those. Put that there. Okay, so first thing we want to do is probably get our game mode, because that's where we're going to put all of our functionality. Get game mode. Put that there. And then we're going to cast to our inventory game mode, so we can cast to inventory game mode. Yep, so that we can act as if we're there. And then we want to find out, we want to get the, is inventory open? So we can get, is it that variable, is our inventory open? And then based on that, we can have a branch which says whether or not that's true or false. So is our inventory open? What can we do? Let's bring that down here. Okay, let's say, right, so we're going to open it or close it based on what we do. So we want to like open. We'll probably have to do that from here. Open inventory event. Bring another one off, and that'll be close inventory event. But I need to know whether or not we've done it manually. So by pressing the button, we want to probably set a switch that says, yeah, we've done this manually, and our player, we want the inventory to stay open or we want it to close. Okay, so let's create that. We can, in the inventory game mode, we can go back and we can put in a little variable in there which says inventory open manually. So variable in inventory opened manually. I'm giving these really easy names so that they're just recognizable. It's inventory open manually. It's a Boolean, that's fine. So if we go to back to our level blueprint, we can, as game mode, we can set hang on, right, let's think about this. So false, we want it to open, because we're saying open inventory, is it open? Yeah, no, it's not. Well, let's open it. So the player, it's not been initiated by entering a pickup zone. It's been somebody's pressed the N key and deliberately opened up the inventory. So we can set the set inventory open manually. So we'll do that, and then we'll do the open event. Okay, so that's fine. Let's just neaten up some of these pins, these lines. Try and keep it all as neat as possible, because you're going to have to read it in the future and work out what's going on when you come back in 3 months' time. We've got true and false there, so we don't want particularly that coming out of there, but we'll do that. I'll sort that out in a minute. Let's just move that there. So cast inventory mode, is the inventory open? False. No, so we'll open it. So false goes into there. We'll set opened it manually. So let's bring those down there. Bring that down there. Let's just so false is there. Okay. My advice: do try to keep as much as possible done. Now, if it's already open, so is the inventory open? True. We still want to make sure we run the event. But we want to, because it's the inverse close, but we still want to do that. CV, put that there, so copy and paste that. True. Close. So we'll, on true, we will set it to off. False, we'll set it to on. Okay. So open manually, yes, opened. True, it's already open. We're not setting it manually. It's come on automatically by entering into a zone. We've got an error here. What do we got? Blueprint self is not the target must have a connection. Oh, I'm missing the target there. There you go. Let's bring that down. Put that there. We've got another error. Branch. That open. Okay, we cast in that properly. Inventory game mode, close. Okay. One of the things that you might want to just do is just go through and make sure everything is saved, compiled and saved. Because it's creating variables, if they're not already there and you haven't compiled or saved the other one, it could cause problems. Project settings, inventory, compile, save. All right, there you go. So it's just it wasn't compiled. So compile everything and then that's fine. Okay, so that should be all right. Let's see what we're doing. Open and closing everything. Let's have a look. We're still there. Open and close. Press the end key. Okay, so press the end key. It's on. For some reason, if I press end again, it's not going off. Let's put that one. Okay, already added to the screen, so we've got a message. So there is something not working here. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Inventory. Right, so close inventory event. Are we setting inventory open somehow? So if we open inventory event, we'll probably need to set that variable so that we can notice that it's open and then do the inverse. So there's probably stuff we need to do here. So open event, let's have a look. Game mode. Okay, so if we okay, so first thing we need to do probably is then set that variable inventory open. So if we do that, don't we get it? I want to set it. Set inventory open, yes. Yeah. And then if we remove all the widgets, we'll set inventory open to off, like so. So on and off, we're setting that. So now if we play, yeah. So it's off and on, the widget is off and on when we run over the zone. That's fine. Switch it on there by pressing N. Switch it off by pressing N, so that we can toggle it off and on. If we run in, it stays on. Okay, so it's when we run out, it goes off. Now I don't particularly want that. If it's on and I run in and out of the zone, I want it to stay on. Okay, so that's an issue. I don't want it to be doing something that I don't ask it to do. Okay, so I want it off and on, toggle when it's on there. If it comes on, I want to be able to toggle it off. That's okay. But I don't want it to come off when I run out. And this is why we've got the manual. Has it been opened manually? If it has, then we don't want it to respond to these events, which probably means we need to add in some form of check somewhere in here to make sure that it's not doing that behavior. Okay, so what we're going to do is down here, so when we're leaving the pickup zone, we leave the pickup zone, we probably need to check to make sure whether or not we've opened the inventory manually. So I'm going to bring that over there, and I'll keep those in there for now, and then we'll put branch in because we need to check branch. And then we want to check against inventory open manually. So we want to find out whether it's open manually. If it's true, we want to close it. If it's false, actually no, if it's this long way around, isn't it? It's false, we want to close it. True, we don't want to do anything. Okay, so if it's true, we'll close it. Right, inventory open manually, let's compile that, save, let's have a look. Right, so off and on and on and off, on and off, so that's good. Out here, switch it on and off, there, off is fine, and off and on is fine in there. Now if I run in with it on, it's fine, yeah, and run it out. Okay, so you notice the difference. Now it just stays on. If I manually put it on, yeah, it'll stay on. Yeah, if I don't, then it'll off and on, only when I'm in a particular zone. So it's only if I want it open whilst playing it stays open. Now, and then off, if I don't put it on manually, it's fine. Okay, so now that's, I think, quite important and a sort of an interesting sort of problem. So I can switch it off if it comes on, yeah, when I'm in there, and it will, yeah, okay. So it won't give me unexpected behaviour. I've got my inventory open, stays on, I get close to a pickup, I've got no intention of picking it up, but it's not going to switch it off if I have to run past it. Okay, good. All right, on to the next thing, I think. Okay, so I think the next thing to think about is actually getting some details into the widget so we can actually start to think about what we're doing. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Now, and we'll have to slowly sort of build this up over time. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bung some text down here. I'm going to call it widget loaded. Okay, so this is just a visual indicator for me for development, so that I know that the widget is loaded. We'll put it there. Where's the opacity? Color and opacity. Opacity, I'll just put that down to about 0.6. Just so it's slightly faded, so it's not going to be really prominent on the screen. Now I want it always to stay in the bottom left. So this is where, with this text box, which I've literally, just dragged and put into the canvas. So this is sort of layers. Anybody that's familiar with any sort of basic web design, web layout, and all the rest of it, you'll find that this is pretty familiar. I've got a canvas panel, which at the moment, is 1280 by 720. I've got these items sitting within that panel. This is a hierarchy here, which is quite interesting. So we've got widget loaded. I want to anchor it. So up here we've got anchors. I want to anchor it to the bottom left. So it will always stay in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's just compile that and save and play. So if we run in, widget gets loaded. You can see right down in the bottom left-hand corner there, if I put it on the red, we've got that text that's staying down there. If I anchor it to the center, and compile and save, run on, it's still there. But if we go Shift F1 to export out of that, come out of there, see, it's not quite oriented appropriately, so it's not sitting within the right space, because as the screen scales, you need to be aware of these numbers, which show in relation to the anchor where these things are. So if I put that as 0, position 0, 0, it gets anchored to that spot there. Now that text box, if I make it 200, well actually make it 300 to sort of cover that text, and size 40. If I want it to be right in the bottom, I'll raise that by -40. Widget loaded. No, sorry, not that one. Not the size, it's the position, -40, and that moves it up. Okay, so now it will be right in the bottom, but I also want X will put it like 20, which will just bring it away from the edge. In fact, let's put it to -60. Okay, so this is something that you just have to play with and slowly get used to, but it's like the visual layout of stuff here. So now we've got an indication there that it's loaded. Now I want some more things going on in this canvas panel. We want some other little options. Okay, so I want what we can call a pickup prompt. So when we're in a pickup area, and we enter the zone, we want some things to pop up. So on the canvas panel, I'm going to add in a box. Let's add in a box. What do I have to have? A separate panel. Okay, so separate panel. We've got here that text block we don't need anymore. That there, I'm going to call it pickup prompt. So I'll give it a name over here, pickup prompt, and we'll make it a variable so that we can, address it, call it stuff. Anchors, we'll anchor it in the center for now, and I think we put it 0, 0. So it's right there. What can we do? We'll actually scale it all the way across. Put that back to 0, 0, 0. So this canvas panel, the second canvas panel that's loaded in here, will fill the entire screen. And then we want some text in there. I'll make sure that it's sort of nested into these bits. So 2 bits of text. We'll just put some commands in there. We'll put add to inventory. And then we also want, on the next one, we'll add inspect item. We've got inspect and select, which is what we put earlier on our mouse buttons. So we've got add to inventory. Now let's just bring these down. We can anchor that to the top right. We can anchor that to the top right. Inspect item, we can bring it down. Let's put that to about 40. Here, put that to 0, and the other one we'll put to 0 for now, and then we need to bring it back. So if we set both of those to 300, that one and that one, width 300, then I can set the position at minus 300, and it's right on the edge. And that one we can do the same, minus 300. Yeah, let's see. So they're right on the edge. We'll put a question mark there. And then you should be able to do that. So they're right on the edge of the screen, which is fine. But I might just do minus 360. Okay, so they're equal gap there. Oh, don't want to move that panel. Yeah, let's bring that one down a bit. Position 120. And that one will add 21 to that. 80. Okay, compile, save, play, on. Yeah. Okay, so we've got add to inventory, inspect item. So that's fine. We want that to pop up when we go into the zone. Yeah. I don't want it to pop up when I'm outside of a zone and I want to see my inventory. I actually want to see my list of items there. So over on this side, I think you're going to have the item viewer. So let's take another. Let's put a vertical box there. Just showing you a sort of a range of things that you can add in. Vertical box in the first canvas panel, so that's not nested in there, and we'll call this inventory viewer. Make that into a variable so that we can call it, and size, let's make it 400, something like that. And what should we put in it? Okay, let's put some text in there. Text, so we've got text in there, and we'll give it the title of, if we do that, we'll call it text current inventory. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, and then we want a list. List view. Okay, so this is where we put all of our current elements. Okay, no entry widget class specified on the list. Even if doing custom stuff, this is always required as a fallback. So it's given us a warning. It says we need an entry class, so we need a format for the list. We need to define how the list is going to look and what it's going to include and all the rest of it. The list stuff is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. It's all a little bit not very intuitive, but that's fine. We'll worry about that as we go. So we need to set this entry widget class, which is a bit of a pain, but I'm gonna, you just go through and do all of the things that we need to do. So we're going to create a new blueprint for this, and we're going to call it, we'll put it into blueprints. We'll call it inventory list entry widget. Okay, just so that we continue to know what everything is. Click on OK. And there we go. This is our entry widget. We'll worry about that later. I'm just going to compile it and save it. So that's another little widget that we've added in, which we can see here, inventory list entry widget. But yeah, we won't worry about that for a moment. Let's go back to the to here. Now that's our widget. We'll compile and save. Put 8 entries in there, and it should start to give us some sort of dummy. So we've got entry, current entry text. So our widget's being displayed. Yeah, it's all on the screen at the same time. We don't want it all on the screen at the same time. Just going to compile, save that. I'm going to close some of these because they're starting to get a little bit confusing. Like project settings, we don't need anymore. Compile, save. Pick up item, compile, save. Compile, save. Save. All right, so everything done. Start. Okay, add to inventory, current inventory, and we've got our messages. That's all cool. All right, let's continue with this, our widget. Blueprints. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at our list entry. Where were those? Blueprints, game mode, pickup. Okay, I'm just going to move that into here. Just to keep everything in one place. Right, so let's start having a look at what this is. Our entry. This is what our list is going to be made up of. First of all, we want horizontal rows of everything that's going into our list, and then we want an image for our item, what it is. Put that into the horizontal box, and then we want a text box. Which will be the name. So remember, right at the start, we set individual properties, image and text for each part. I'm going to call this inventory item spelling, because you never know when you might have to reference it, type it in. So we'll do that, that's fine. And then image, we'll call that inventory item image. Inventory item image, caps lock, what I like. Alright, okay, so we got that, that's fine. There shouldn't really be too much we actually need to do in here. We want to call our list data at some point, but I haven't really got that far yet to defining the data to populate. But yeah, we'll worry about that later. Let's just put that here. All right, and now we've defined here. Yeah, so we've decided what an entry is going to look like. We've got this dummy text here just to show us on our list. Yeah, how many? See. It's just repeating all of those. So let's say we've got 12 items in our inventory. Yeah. Okay, obviously it's not showing there 12 items because we've not picked up anything. That's just for layout purposes only. Right, okay, so problem we've got then is everything is displaying all of the time. You know, we don't want everything to display all of the time. We want only, inspect item, to come on. These prompts up here when we're in a zone, you know, I don't want them to come in if I'm not in a zone. I don't want them to be displayed. Here, I probably don't want my inventory to be displayed until I actually call it. We'll play around with that, see if we can get something that's acceptable. Now, notice we did set these as variables. Pickup prompt in our viewer, we set them so we can actually start to call them in our blueprints. Okay, so in our game mode on these functions, when we leave and enter the zones and when we open and all the rest of it, we can set, depending upon the conditions, whether or not we want little parts of it to be displayed or not. And I think that's the sort of the next thing we need to think about. So ultimately, when we enter a pickup zone, if we've got the inventory open it. That's great. If we haven't got it open, or if it is already open when we enter it, we need to probably set that the item is collectible. Current item collectible, we'll do that. We'll go, set. It's fine, that doesn't hurt. And then we want to start thinking about setting the visibility of something. So we'll, what do we want? From our inventory, get inventory, we want the pickup prompt. Get pickup prompt. We want to set the visibility of it. There, when we enter, it's not open. Actually, it is open, but we want to make sure that we set the visibility, because we don't want the visibility if we open it when we're outside of the prompt. Okay, so that's cool there. The inventory viewer, the other part, let's think about that. We'll drag in the inventory. We'll get the inventory viewer. Get inventory viewer, which is that bit. We want to set the visibility of that. To hidden. Okay. Okay, so let's think. Is it we're entering a pickup zone? Is it open? It is already open. We just want to add the pickup prompt, and we don't need the that visibility. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay. We've got no list, which is what we want. Now let's have a look. I think I'm going to start to. So we leave the pickup zone. Yeah, if inventory was not open manually. So if it's open manually, true. We just need to stop the visibility of the prompt. So Get pickup prompt. Set visibility. I'm going to set that to hidden. Okay, so inspect, yeah, that's good. And right, so we're not turning it back on again. So open the widget. Okay. Let's organise a bit of this. We can work out what's going on. We need to do that. We don't need to do that. Okay, so when we leave the zone, doing the string, we're branching, did we open it manually? We did open it manually, so we take the prompt off. If we didn't open it manually, we close the inventory, close, which removes everything, and we say it's closed. We probably want to think about adding on a right, okay. Yeah, so that's good. Open and close. Open. Okay, so that's not right. Okay, so we've got some things to do here with visibility. Right, I'm just going to move that down. That should be okay. I'll put that in a comment and go leave zone. Enter pickup zone. Just neaten these up. Pickup zone, leave pickup zone. Alright, so they should be sort of okay. We probably need to have some visibility. Okay, enter pickup zone. Right, let's have a look what's going on here. Enter pickup zone, print screen, yeah. Okay, branch, yeah, setting that. Okay, so we probably don't want to do that. We probably want to do that. Move that out of the way. Okay, enter pickup zone. Is the inventory open? Yes. Okay, set visibility of the pickup prompt, which is good. Okay, enter pickup zone. Is it open? No. Open it. Yeah. And set the visibility of the inventory viewer. Yeah, that looks a bit better. It's not open. We don't want the viewer. We just want the prompt. Yeah, all right. So there we go. So we've got no prompt. Yeah. Okay, so now it's not coming on when we open up the inventory manually. So we need to do something there. And the prompt is not on, so we've got some issues there. So when the inventory is on, okay, right. So now we need to think about these events. Leave pickup zone, enter pickup zone. Right, let's think of these. That's create widget. We can leave that up there. Let's think about these. And work out what's going on, and we can then think about setting the visibility and all of this stuff. Right, so open inventory event. Okay, first of all, add to the viewport. Then when we open the inventory, we need to set the visibility of the inventory viewer. So let's get the inventory. Let's set the inventory viewer. Inventory viewer. We'll get the inventory viewer, and we want to set the visibility to visible. Okay, so when we open the viewer, whether manually or by entering the zone, it's visible. And we set that to open, which is good. We need to work out whether the item is collectible. So current item collectible, which is basically our switch to say, are we in a zone? So we can branch from that. Are we in a zone when we open everything? Let's just move that. So are we in a pickup zone? If we are, our pickup prompt to pickup prompt. So that needs to be visible. So visibility visible. So true. Yes. If we're not in a zone, then we probably want that hidden. I'll just copy and paste that. Put that down. False. Bing. Swap that to hidden. Now again, I'm doing this in a very sort of basic way. Right, so put that there. Put that there. Right. Let's see what that does. Okay. So on. Pickup prompt. No list. Pickup prompt. No list. Now pickup prompt. No list. Right. So that's good. Open up, we got the list. We're not in a zone. Close it. Open that. Bring up the list. Okay, so when I'm in the zone, that switches it off. In the zone, add to inventory. Okay, so that switches it off. Right, so there may be something we need to do there. Let's have a quick think. Okay, let's actually just put these in comments. Close in inventory. Keep that one. C. Open inventory. Okay, so compile, save. Okay, so I think the next thing to do is start thinking about how we're going to select and inspect these the things that we're coming across. So down here, let's start thinking about adding in some custom functions or custom events. Sorry, so custom event. We'll call this select item. And then here we'll call this inspect. Create the function, add custom event, select inspect item. So we've got select and inspect, which is good. Now we need to start thinking about doing the keyboard and linking those up when we left and right click. So that means we need to get back into the level blueprint. Okay, so blueprints, level blueprint. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so input action inspect item. Pressed. We can save. Actually, we need to cast a game mode, don't we? So get game mode. Cast to inventory game mode. We'll do that one. Pressed. So when we input from the key, the mouse, pressed, we're going to first of all work out whether or not the inventory is open. So we can branch. Is the inventory open? Let's have a look. So we can inventory open. Is the inventory open? If it is, we can run that inspect item function. Put that there, just keep it neat. Okay, cast to game mode. Inspect. Select item is going to be pretty similar. Game mode. Cast to inventory game mode. And then we're going to, as game mode, we're going to branch. Oh, maybe not. Branch. Right, and we want to again find out whether or not the inventory is open. So put that there, and if it is, we want to go as game mode. Call the function select item. Okay. Okay, so that's fine for the level blueprint. Yeah, that's all fine. Could not find inspect. What's going on? Did I create those functions in the game mode? No, okay, I didn't compile the blueprint. There you go. So if we do that, compile, yeah, all good. Okay, so just do make sure that you're compiling everything all the time. I keep on saying that. But yeah, it's important. Okay, so back into the game mode. Now, inspect. Let's worry about that one first. Now, I'm not going to do, and this is a whole separate project, really inspecting an item. Now, this would be using a sphere capture, or sorry, a sphere capture cube, a 2D capture camera. And then, looking at an object and then controlling the camera, so it's sort of out of the viewer. But that again is another project worthwhile doing, and that would be something again separately I would add on. But I'm not going to be able to do it here. It's beyond the scope of what we've got. Let's current item collectible. get. If it is, then we can print string. I'll just do a print string for now, and we'll say inspect. Now imagine this, it would fill the screen, and it'd have the zoom up look of the item. But we won't worry about that now. Inspect item. So that would be the start of that, that function, that execution chain, all that functionality kicking off there. Okay, but this is what we want to worry about. We want to select items. We want to make sure that we're adding stuff to our list now, and adding the right stuff to our list, and updating the list. So this is where it's going to get a little bit more complicated. Right, so first thing we want to do is branch, I suppose. And then we want to know if we want to add, if it is, we're selecting it, we want to add it to the list. So the branch would be current item select collectible. Yeah. If it is, what do we do? If it's not, we'll do nothing. But we probably want to start thinking about adding the inventory data to our list. And for that, we're going to need to start building our arrays and containers to be able to contain all of our data. So this is going to start to get a little bit convoluted because this is not a sort of a straightforward sort of process. But I think the first thing we probably need to do is to start defining our inventory data structures. So here we're going to create a blueprint. This is going to be, no, we won't create a blueprint. Let's create, where is it? Structure. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is a way of structuring our data. I'll call it struct, just so that we can reference it and find it easier. Call it struct underscore inventory list. And then we'll open it up, and then let's start thinking about how we're going to structure our data in here. Well, there's two variables we basically need. One is item name, and then the other one is going to be item image. And this matches the variables we put in each individual little pickup item. Item name, which we need to be text. Let's put that down, put that into text. And this is going to be a texture 2D. Texture 2D. Okay, so we've got that. We'll make that 127 gray just by default, and we'll call that item. I'll call it item name. Okay, so that's the default. Yeah. Save. That's all we need. We could add more things in there. We could add the 3D model, static mesh. There's loads of things that we could put into the structure and we could store, but at the moment we'll just work with that. Let's just compile and save everything, making sure that we're all okay. Right, so that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. All right, so we've got that. Let's start thinking about how we're going to add some data using that structure into our list. And again, okay, so we've got that. Okay, so I think in our widget, we're going to start. So this is our inventory widget here. Now over in the graph, we've not done anything here. We've got our inventory viewer, but we need to start being able to populate based on our structured data and our list data, things into this widget, into this list that we've got built in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a function. We're going to create a function. We're going to call it add items to list. And then from that, we're going to construct inventory list data. Let's create a set of data. For this, we're going to so blueprint class, all classes, and let's have a look. We're just going to create an object to hold our data, and I'm going to call this inventory list data. We're going to save that. And then back in our widget, actually I'm going to close some of these and bring them back up when necessary. Try and work with as minimum as possible. So there, in here, we're going to try to we're going to construct so if we construct the object from class, we want to build our inventory list data. So inventory list data. Now, also we'll put that in as self. That's its object here. And then I want to set the list data. So we're going to create okay, so here we're going to add a way to pass our structured data into this list. So here we want an input pin, which I'm going to set as an item list. And then the input type, we want to be our structure inventory list. Okay, and we can compile and save that. That gives us this out pin here where we can set our inventory data Okay, so in our inventory list data, we want to set up a variable which will include our inventory data. The type of that is going to be our structured data. We'll compile and save that. And then now, so we don't need that anymore, we should, from our item list, okay, so now we're going to set the inventory data, connect that up, our item list, let's add reroute node, keep it neat so we can see what we're doing. And then we're going to take our inventory list so our list that we've got here got call that inventory list. Okay, sort back into graph. We've got our inventory list. Bring that in. Get inventory list, and then we'll add an item to the list view. And the item will be there. Okay, so save, compile that. Okay, so that's our function to add items to the list. If we come back to the event graph, what we'll do is on our inventory, we straight away, that's fine. We will do just on to be safe. It's an event construct. I'm going to take the pickup prompt, get, and the inventory viewer. Yeah, and then we will just set the visibility. So it's that. Both of those to hidden. Hidden. Okay, so they're hidden right from the start. Okay, compile, save, play. Okay. Right, what else do we need to do? Okay, so we're adding items to the list, but now we need to actually try to call that function somehow to actually get those elements into our list. All right, so now if we come back to our game mode, we should be able to start thinking about what's happening here. So we go to select item. Now, yes, it's selectable, but we need to think about adding inventory data. What we've got, we need to add something to the list. So we're gonna make let's have a look. Okay, so here we're going to add another function. We're going to add inventory data to the list. So let's open up a new function. We're going to add inventory data to list. Okay, so we've got that function. And then from here, we need to create an inventory array. So I'm going to create a new variable. This one's going to be, we'll call it inventory array. This is so we can store all of the items that we've collected. And the type is going to be a structured inventory list, and we'll make it an array. So it's a container that's going to hold loads of those structured data things. We're going to bring that in. And then we're going to add something into this array. So we're going to add context sensitive array add. Yeah. And then we're going to add items to the list, which we can, if we take the inventory, get inventory, and we want to add okay, we actually need to add in our data here. We need to pass our data into it. So if we select that here, we've got inputs, we want to add new data. Again, structured inventory list. That's the type. And then we'll take the new data and we're going to add inventory data to list. So that's the data we're going to add. And the target is going to be to the inventory. Oh, target's game mode, we don't want that. Compile and save that. Add items to list. Put that there. Data into there. Compile and save. If we go back to the event graph, now we need to add inventory data to list. So we'll call that function. We're going to make some new data. We'll make structured inventory list. And then this will be our current image that we set earlier. And then current name. Oh, sorry, current name, and then current image. Like so. So adding data to the list, we need to set the visibility. So I'll get the inventory, and we're setting, we'll target the inventory viewer, and then set the visibility to visible. Like so. So we're adding it to the list, we're setting it to the list to visible, and then we need to destroy the actor that we've got selected. Now we need to pass the reference now of our object so that we can literally remove it from the scene. So here we are going to, the way we're going to do that is when we enter a pickup zone, so we can just zoom out here, enter pickup zone. I don't need that anymore. But what I'm going to do is set a reference, and we're going to call pickup item ref. So I want to pass something additional to this function. So let's add something in here. Over here, we're going to call it pickup item ref. And the type of object it's going to be is a BP underscore pickup item. So we're going to pass a direct pickup item to it. Okay, and then we'll set a variable in here, which is going to be pickup item ref. We want it to be an array. We want it to be a BP underscore pickup. Our object, our pickup item. And then we'll drag that in, we'll set that. So we'll set our pickup item ref, and then we'll put it into there, and then the pickup item ref here. So we'll set that in the game mode. So we've got a reference to our object in the game mode. So if we're here, we're selecting the item. Once we do that, we're going to set the visibility in the target. Let's bring that in. So we'll get that, and then we will destroy the actor. So we'll wipe it from the game. And only keep a reference to its name and its associated image in the inventory. Okay, once we've destroyed it, we don't want it to be collectible. So we want to set current item collectible to none. So it's not collectible anymore because it's gone. And our pickup prompt, which we can get from the widget, get pickup prompt, set visibility to hidden because we can no longer pick it up. Okay, so if we do that, we'll put that there, we'll just neaten that up. Compile, save. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, add to inventory, click, text block, gone into inventory. There we go, appearing in the list. Go in. Yeah, text block. Again, adding it in. Now, one problem, we're not destroying anything. We're just adding things in, which is fine because I don't think we're passing it the object. So each time we press click, inspect item, yeah, we've got inspect popping up. I'm not going to worry about that functionality now, but slowly we're adding things to the list. Yeah, so if we're out here, press N, there's our list. Yeah, there's our list. We run in here. Yeah, add another one. Yeah, add another one. Okay, so that's good. Well, we have got a problem here. Destroy actor. Yeah, okay, I thought so. So we've got a pickup ref, and we're setting it here when we enter the zone here. Yeah, but we're not when we're calling that. Yeah, the enter the pickup zone. We're not actually defining anything that we're going to eventually destroy. So let's think about that. Let's just compile and save. Okay. Okay, so in our, let's save that, save all. So in our pickup item, so pickups, if we look at pickup item here, yeah, okay, so here where we've got the enter pickup zone, what we can just do is create a reference to self. So get reference to self. So this object, the pickup object, we are going to pass to our function. So if we go in, down, actually, hang on, now that's what we do want, don't we? Yeah, because it's gone. And I was getting confused because of all the red stuff as well. We want that to go as well because it's obviously the trigger, and we're going to move the trigger as well. There we go, so gone. Look in the inventory, text block. Okay, but we want to change the name. We want to think about how we're going to do that because it shouldn't go in there as just text block. So that's the next thing to think about. File save. Right, let's see what we're doing. Message log. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what's happening. Add text log. Right. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to head over to our where is it? To pick up our inventory list entry widget, and then in the graph we need to look at the class settings, and we need to, rather than have a user list entry, we need to have. Actually, let's add the object. User object list entry. Delete that, and then we've got some functionality here. So we've got okay, so we're going to add a variable. This is going to be our inventory list data. Type of variable is going to be our inventory list data. Compile and save. And then we want to set this event on list item object set. We drag that in, connect that to that. This is our object. Compile, save. Add to inventory. It's added. There we go. We've still got text block. Okay, so what we need to do is in our here, where we need to update this text, let's do some bindings to these functions. So content, what content do we want in here? We're going to bind it to our list data. That is going to be the item name. And then the image, if we take that, we should be able to take that and then bind that again to the other property, inventory data, which will be our item image. So if we compile and save that, let's come back here and play. Let's see what we got. So we pop over, add to inventory, open up the inventory. Yeah, we've got a cube. Okay, with our grey image. Okay, so we're adding things to the inventory. So last thing to do is let's take a look at blueprints, pickup. Right, so we've got our cube. I'm just going to just duplicate that. We'll call that sphere. Let's open that one up. Right, where are we? So that's the sphere. Construction script, we can change that and we can call it sphere. Keep the same image, we could change that there as well, but that's not a problem, we won't bother with that. Let's close some of these down now. We just have the cube and sphere open. Okay, on the sphere, we'll swap back to the viewport. We'll select the static mesh. Rather than having the cube, we'll have the sphere, and we'll use the basic one, wherever that is. Engine basic shapes, file save, play, there we go. So we can go over that. Yeah, I'm going to drag it onto the level first. Right, so we can go over that. Yeah, add to inventory, no, let's go over that. We'll add that one, gone. Add that one, gone. Let's have a look. Alright, so now we've got a cube and a sphere sitting in the inventory. Okay, let's do that again. Let's go to the sphere. Yeah, pick it up. Yeah. What we got? We've got a sphere. Go to that one, pick it up. What we got? Cube and a sphere. Yeah, looks like it's all working. So the next thing to do, let's just get rid of that, the pickup item. Viewport. Okay, so that static mesh there, we don't need. We'll get rid of that. Box, probably too big. We'll put that down to about 4. Okay, so we've only got a bit of a smaller space. Compile, save, compile, save, compile, save, compile, play. So we've got that there. We'll open that. Current inventory, got nothing. Open that, add to inventory, yep. What do we got? Current inventory cube. Go over to that, inventory open, add to inventory, yep, we got a sphere. We got the warnings popping up there about the print screens. We can just get rid of those, which I think are going to be in our game mode. So event graph, let's put that in a, so select item. Okay, now where are those? Yeah, leave pickup saying we don't want that anymore. Let's get rid of that. And that one, print spring, or keep that, inspect. And that's the next thing we really need to think about. So if we play that, then let's have a look. Come along. Current inventory, nothing. Pick it up. Go right next to it, pick it up. What we got? Cube and a sphere. Okay, so that's it, job done. I'm going to leave it there. Again, let's just blueprints, pick up. We'll make a copy of that. Duplicate. We'll call this one a cone. So open that up. Construction scripts, we'll call that cone. So these all can be different objects. Static mesh. What do we want? Not color. We'll change the cone. There we go. Compile, save. Put the cone into the level right over there. And there we go. Boom, we'll pick that up. And we'll pick that up. What have we got? We've got a cube and a cone. Close that. Or in fact, we'll open it and then pick it up. And you can see it added. Okay, so whatever we pick up, there you go, sitting in the cube. We need to do the reverse to drop stuff. We need to have, it'd be really nice to have pick up items outlined so that they stood out. Obviously this list is going to, when we pick something up, it would be nice to know that we're not just going to run out of space on the left-hand side, so we need to put scrollers in there. There's so much to be done, but this is the basic functionality. Done and busted. Okay, thank you very much. I hope that was interesting, and I'll catch you later.